good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. My name is Yvette Wanzu and welcome back to Walking with Wanzu. Before we start, I just want to say a very big thank you to all of you who have been supporting my content, listening to it, giving me feedback that is so much appreciated, and just, walking with me on this journey. Like I have always said, walking with Wanzu is basically just a journey that you get to experience walking with me through my life. I share some of the experiences that I have had in the past, some that I have recently had, and it's basically just me journaling my experience and sharing it with you. Sometimes things are nice and rosy and we laugh and we celebrate together, and when things get thick we also just cry and we just gather and try to support each other. I will not lie, August has shaken me in ways that I did not expect. Late August and beginning of September, I faced a significant number of challenges. I have always done entrepreneurship on a very small scale. So when I was in high school, I used to sell fries, I used to sell popcorn. And so recently when I got into full throttle entrepreneurship, I was very raw, I didn't know everything, and I was literally learning about everything and working on everything as I go. And so we faced a major hiccup towards the end of August that really shook us. But here we don't give up. Here when we fall, we have our time, we cry, we do the thing, and then we get up and we keep it pushing. And that's exactly what I did. And so a number of things happened too. Last week, my nanny asked for a week off. She needed to go and sort out a few things at home and then come back and continue with work. Now, if you're not a mom or if you're not familiar with nanny issues, the thing is I am a mom. I have been blessed with a daughter who is now 5, and she goes to school and I go to work, and so the natural transition or the natural occurrence of things is that I would have a nanny come in and live in with me, because that's what I prefer, a live-in nanny, and she helps me with just picking the baby from school, taking care of her, making sure she's fed, and then of course over the weekend now when she's off, then I get to do now full mommy duties. And so when she left, she wasn't very truthful, and it seems that she wasn't planning to come back, but that's not what she said. And so I gave her the entire week. I put structures in place. I was ready to get through the week without her, and then when she comes back, I can just continue my normal working hours, do the things that I usually do during the week, and then of course have the baby full-time over the weekend, because that would help me function at optimum, especially in the workplace. And so she didn't come back. And if you're a mom, if you're a mom in this day and age and you're living in Nairobi and you have a job and all that, you know what nanny chronicles and nanny issues can be like. And I have had my fair share of nanny drama. And so I just reached a point where I was just like, I have had enough, Lord. If you're going to give me a good nanny, please give me a good nanny. Let this one be the final one. I really need a good person to help. We're just taking care of the baby and making sure the home is well taken care of, even as I try to, continue with the grind and the hustle and provide and put some away for a rainy day. And I just found myself so angry when I spoke to her on the phone on Monday, and she was being a bit untruthful, and there was a bit of mild drama here and there, and I just found myself being so angry. I was so upset. I was just like, why did you lie? Why did you not say the truth? And I remember calling I remember calling my cousin and just going on a rant about how people just need to learn how to be truthful, and if you don't want something, just say you don't want, and you just don't walk around inconveniencing people. And if I tell you I ranted, man, I really did. I ranted. I was, on that particular day, I was an hour late for work. That's how bad it was. And so that happened, and even in a rage, I took the rest of the belongings that she had, and I went and I tossed them in the trash, and I was really upset, and I just knew in my heart of hearts that I was done with nanny drama. And if I could rewind prior to that, there have been instances where certain things have happened, displeasing. People have done things that I didn't want them to do, or that rubbed me off the wrong way, and I have reacted in ways that even have left me shook. One thing that I know about myself is I give a good comeback, and I like to describe myself in this way even to my friends. I like to say that when I'm invited, I show up. So if you invite me to be petty, I'll put on my petty label suit and I'll show up. And when you invite me to be loving, I'll put on my rainbows and ponies and I'll show up. And I've just realized that I don't know if it's the times we're living in now, or if it's just a really hard welcome into the real world, that people can be difficult to deal with. And the truth is, people can be unkind, people can mess you up, and some people sometimes even just have their own hidden agenda, and it doesn't matter who they hurt or what they need to do to get to where they need to be. And that's just the truth about life. And I feel like when you've been burnt so many times, which I have, you could either choose to find a way to just know that people won't always do right by you, and that's okay, and find a way to deal with the feelings, be angry, be mad at the time, but just also learn to forgive and to let go. And that's something that's very difficult for me. I have a lot of trouble forgiving and letting go when I am, when I'm wronged in certain instances. And so it took seeing a certain number of patterns to realize that, little soft-spoken me might actually have anger issues. And so I took a step back and I started reevaluating. And if you're in the same space that I am in right now, I just want to tell you that I know that the universe is constantly giving us instances where we need to be petty, where we need to be mean, where we need to use our chest, to be able to do things. And I hope that at some point you'll be able to catch yourself like I did. And catching myself for me has been just to be able to try to process things with as much grace as I can, because I'm not perfect myself. I know that there are times when I do wrong. There are times when I offend people. There are times when I say or I do things or I move in a certain way that offends people. And I would like to be accorded a certain amount of grace when I'm on the wrong. And when it's you wronged, I know it feels so different and it feels so hard. And it still does to me. It's a constant struggle. And I just want to say that life is so uncertain. Today I'm here, tomorrow I'm somewhere else. Today someone may not be maybe in the same social class or in the same category as you, but you don't know what tomorrow looks like. And you don't want one incident where someone has wronged you to determine the entire trajectory of how you're going to deal with this person for the rest of the time that you're both here on earth. And I'm just learning to be able to maybe try and take a deep breath and try and approach things from a point of grace And I know it's going to be hard, and it has been hard already so far. But the amount of time that we spend being angry and being bitter and holding on to grudges is just, it takes so much energy and it takes so much joy from you. I have been listening to a couple of, just podcasts and talks about unforgiveness. And it even took that for me to realize that unforgiveness and bitterness and anger can even have an impact or an effect on your immune system, on your immunity. That's how bad it is. And so maybe as you go through this week and you've been hurt, I don't know what has happened. Maybe someone has cheated on you. Maybe someone insulted you. Maybe someone went and set you up, or just did something that really, really hurt your feelings. I just want to call upon you to tell you that don't lose yourself. Don't lose the true essence of who you are. If you're a kind person, just be kind. Life is hard and people are hard to deal with, but it is what it is. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to choose how to walk out of any experience that you encounter. And so this is just a special call to reach out to you and to say, hey, it's not just you who's struggling with unforgiveness or being nicer or being a little bit more understanding, because the instances that have been handed to you where you felt like just blowing up, or you felt like maybe perhaps you could try and be a little more mean, a little more catty, a little more snaky, just to be able to blend in with how the universe is going. Don't. And even when you can, try and extend the people who wrong you a bit of grace. And I know sometimes when we're wronged, especially when it's an instance where perhaps there has been cases of cheating, you might blame yourself for, being on the one who, you're just like, maybe I'm the one who tolerates this, or maybe I'm the one who attracts this kind of people. So extend yourself some grace as far as your choices and decision making is concerned. And so this is me just saying, I wish you joy, I wish you peace, and I hope that you can find a lot of grace in your heart to be able to extend to those that wrong you. Forgive. Life is short, it's not guaranteed, and it's definitely not worth your peace. Have a good week ahead, and God bless you. Bye-bye.